It's truly our honor and our pleasure to introduce our esteemed guest for tonight. We are all huge fans of his. After almost 4 decades in the music industry, Freddie Jackson is still upholding his buzz with fans and promoters all around the world. Early on in his career, Freddie became the voice of the grown and sexy by singing some of the world's most memorable music. Whether it was Time to Dance or for Romance, Freddie has earned the title as one of R&B soul's legendary most valuable contributors by performing his long resume of pure, timeless music. And right now, with a new album and his new single, One Night, which we will be debuting for you guys tonight. Ladies and gentlemen, please give a warm Diablo Radio Network welcome to the one and only Mr. Freddie Jackson. Yeah. Mr. Jackson, how are you doing?
Oh, man, good things are going on. God is good. I'm living, I'm breathing, I'm still in this land, still in this music thing, doing it, I think, pretty well. And I'm happy, at peace with myself, new record, new stuff going on, positive thoughts, just got finished listening to you and my lady on your station, and it was still sounding timeless, and it just took me back to that's Melba Moore and Lilo Thomas and myself singing background on that song,
Oh, yeah.
And it just took me back. Yeah, it took me back in the studio when we were just laughing and having a good time. So I just got a chance to reminisce. So I'm in a wonderful place right now. I cannot complain.
Well, that's great. I mean, again, it's truly an honor, man. You've created some timeless music, some incredible contributions to the music industry. 4 decades, man. That's longevity. That's what I call longevity in this business. And for all the new fans, for the younger crowd who tunes in with us, who listen, who is becoming new fans of yours, tell them how did you get started in music?
Well, I got started singing. I'm born and raised in Harlem and stuff like that, and singing in choirs, singing in high school productions, and then singing in church. And I met Mr. Paul Lawrence, who would write my first #1 record, Rock Me Snack for Old Time State, where I met Valerie Simpson and Nick Ashford at that same church. So it was a musical church, and doing a lot of background work. I sang background for Harry Belafonte when I was 27 years old, as well as Miss Angela Bofield. I was on the road with them, but then I did a lot of session work. I'm one of the voices on Juicy Fruit. I'm on one of the voices on.
Wow! Okay.
Oh my God.
Yeah, I'm one of the voices on Love Come Down, and one of the voices on Glenn Jones' Show Me. So I did a lot
that's my joint right there.
Well, that's me singing the background.
Yeah, I like
track.
that.
So I started out as a background singer and a writer, and singing commercials. But then Paul Lawrence told me I was crazy. I need to get up from behind my word processing machine, find a gig, and bring some people. He's going to bring some people to wherever I was performing. And he brought Melba Moore to see me at a club called Freddie's. And about a month or so, I was signed to Melba's production company. Went on the road for her. And then in 1984, my first album came out, and I recorded as a gift for my birthday. My manager at the time put me in the studio, and I recorded the Rock Me Tonight album, and I have been moving ever since.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, that's an incredible journey. Definitely incredible story. You just dropped some knowledge on us, definitely, that we definitely didn't know about those background vocals that you were doing. So definitely thank you for that. I know my co-host wants to get it in before I get some of my other questions in. Miss Sandy, you are on with the legendary Mr. Freddie Jackson.
Ooh, Freddie Jackson. Oh my gosh. Let me tell you something. Before this conversation, I was on the phone with my mom. We was over there talking, reminiscing. Oh my goodness. My parents had broken up and the mother went back to college, and she's a bumpy. Oh my gosh, she's everything.
Wow.
Man, how you been doing? You have been I know you. Yeah.
I can't complain. Things are good. You know, I'm still in this music thing. Took a little while off, about 10 years, because I needed to reassess with what was going on in the music industry, and just was not willing to conform myself and, you know, wear my pants down over my butt, because that's not what I do. But I chose to want to remain Freddie, and that's what I did on this new album. The name of the album is called Love Signals, and it's a message song. And right now we're in a crazy state of mind, and we all need to send some love signals all over the world, because right now we better look out for each other more than anybody else. So we better send those signals of peace out. But everything is going all right. I'm touring. I just got finished doing a date with my boy, my buddy, my friend Ronald Icy last week, and I'm on with Jeffrey in a couple of weeks. So, you know, I'm working and writing, back into my writing, and, you know, in a wonderful place in my mind and in my heart at the same time. I can just say I'm truly blessed to still be happy about what it is that I'm doing.
Yes, indeed.
You said it, as you said, for 10, you took a little hiatus to kind of, you know, regroup and stuff like that. And you're in a great space right now. And I know there's so many artists, you know, that, you know, we came up with, and, you know, they had to take a step back and kind of reevaluate. What are some things that you, when you're in your reevaluation state, that you were, like, looking at or battling with? Like, what?
Well, I was battling
with
a lot of I was battling with a lot of my self-doubt and my self-worth, because the industry can sometimes make you feel like, oh, well, I'm not needed anymore, or
right.
And so you have to weigh all those things, or I know I'm still good at what I do, but what is it? And so you start asking yourself questions about what it is that you know that you do good, and then it can sometimes take a toll and make you say, well, I don't have to do that anymore, but as long as I can still go out and work, I'm okay. And thank God I've got enough records that I can work all year long. But my love really is creating new songs and being in the studio. But then I didn't want to play the bureaucracy of the listeners and the people who play the records and watering down the best of Freddie Jackson to give somebody what it is that they felt that I should give them. And so I stepped back and I reevaluated what made me who I was and what made me likable and lovable and made people want Freddie Jackson at 11 number one records was me really loving my soul, my R&B and my soul, and not trying to water it down so that I can do a major crossover thing. Because I believe music will cross over in itself if it's meant to do that.
Absolutely.
But if you intentionally come in the music industry saying, I'm going to be a crossover act, maybe you really are not a crossover act. You're just trying to fit into a mold that's really not yours. So I have to really check Freddie. And it took me a while, and then I went over to Europe, and I was on the same block with Marvin Gaye in Belgium, lived for a while, and I got my sexual healing thing going on that block with Marvin.
All right now, Freddie. Yeah.
Yeah, you know, and I went there, and I sat, and I felt the spirit. I said, you know what, I'm going to do like Marvin did. Marvin did what he did from the inside. And when you do what's from the inside, then it will speak loudly on the outside. With all the transitions and things that go on in your life, you still, there's something about the music that leads you into where you need to go. And so I was led into recording this album. So this is not because I have to make a record. I was led in saying, now I'm ready to do this. And this is where One Night comes in. So I'm in Alabama, and I'm in a juke joint, and this man is at the jukebox, and he turns to me and says, Freddie Jackson, you need to make some more jukebox music. So I went to my producer and said, I told this man I'm going to give him a song to go into his jukebox. And so when I went to Barry Eastman, who wrote You Are My Lady, I said, I promised the man a jukebox record. And so he said, well, listen to this. And one night she played, I said, that's my record for the jukebox. So
there it is.
This was something that I was led into, not something that I had to do. And I'm so glad I followed this path.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
A-Town. I got so many questions. Go ahead.
Go.
Okay. I can't wait to hear your this new music of yours. And I'm listening to you speak. Okay, I'm listening to you speak, and now correct me if I'm wrong. It's like you speak when you speak of Freddie Jackson as a different person than who you really are. Like when I heard You Are My Lady, I mean, it took me back, and some artists that when you're trying to come back, people want to go what's familiar, and which is probably not necessarily you, but they want to. Do you feel a need to give us who we think you are? You know what I'm saying? It's like okay, we'll use Whitney Houston as an example. Whitney Houston was she was created. You know what I'm saying? She had a beautiful voice, but they made her in this image as if she was damn near perfect. You know what I'm saying? And trying to live up to these people's expectations of you and trying to live or to act a certain way, and that is not who you are. I think that's what really killed her. Trying to live these multiple lives, and you got to have this image, you got to have this poise, you got to have this dialect that's articulate, you got to be this, but that's not who she was. And it's like, and it's a fear of, especially back then, like, can you accept who I really am? Are you really going to accept and embrace me? And that was like a huge strain on a lot of artists back then.
On my new album, and when I was speaking earlier about taking the time off to really reassess my life and really reevaluate who I am and what's going on with me in my life from the past up until now, and how I've grown and the things that I've experienced, from the downfalls, the ups and the downs, who I am, where I'm going, who I'm doing the hokey pokey with and turning myself around, the whole 9 yards. Those things, and all those things that can smother you, the true you. So I have a song that really kind of got me to really wanting to record this album, and it's with a group that I'm going to present to the industry, and the name of the group is called Duets. But I had my new manager, Mr. David Stills, had given me this song, and I held on to it for 2 years. But every time I listened to it, I was like, that's a group record. I don't need to be singing that song. And then one day, I couldn't get to the stereo fast enough to turn it off, and so it continued to play. And at the time, I was going through some internal things about myself, and I'm like I was telling you about. Sometimes you got to check yourself and where am I going to go in this music industry, and how I feel about I'm being accepted in life. I lost my mother, I lost my sister, a lot of things that have nothing to do with the industry, and that bring you pain, and you can suffer and you can smolder in. But then I thank God for His strength to let me know that I'm worth more than what people may think about me, because I'm not made by man, I'm made by God. And so once I read into my soul, I was able to listen to this song, and the name of the song is called Find My Way. Sometimes in life, no matter how great you are, and I've dined with kings and queens, and I have accolades. I mean, I was just put into the Smithsonian African American Museum. I'm on the wall of the museum.
Congratulations!
Wow.
7 number 1 records in my life. But then sometimes you can find it when you were mentioning my good friend because Whitney and I started in this industry together, and before that, we were on usher boards in different churches, and so we used to play on each other's paths before we even made a record. So my point being is that sometimes you can become such a great star that you become not a star in your soul anymore because you've got to be what the world wants you to be.
And you get to lose yourself.
Yourself. And when you smother that, when you suffocate that, the best part of you, then there's no place else for you to go. So what was important for me in taking the time off was learning how to love me again before I could give me to the world once again. Because when I started, nobody knew who in the world Freddie Jackson was. So I did everything that I did the first time on my album. When I made my first album, I took the D train to Brooklyn and I recorded with Barry Eastman. On this last album, I eat a pot of beans and I made this album myself and I took the Metro line, Metro North, up to Terrytown every day because I wanted to go to work like I was going to do my job for the first time. So I pulled myself out of my star world and I went back to the old landmark. And that's what this album is, because if you don't and you continuously try to make everybody else happy, you will suffocate and you will do things that you really have no business doing, because the only one you really begin to trust more than anybody else is that demon. And that devil don't go away unless you rebuke it and mean it. And so therefore, I took the time to say I'm worth more than the madness I'm allowing to come into my life. And so here I sit. Here I am. And God sends you angels to help clean up your stuff. And I'm walking in a brand new lifestyle. No matter what people may think or say or their opinion about a Freddie Jackson, at the end of the day, when I hear the note, yes, Jesus loves me, and I know it because the Bible tells me so as well. And I don't let man dictate who I am. So that's why I walk the path that I walk, and I'm still living. God's holding on to me for something, and I don't question him. I just abide by his duty. And I try to be beautiful and give my fans what I feel the best of me. And right now, when they hear this new album, they'll be able to dig into not the new Freddie, but Freddie has really channeled himself, He's really
the evolved Freddie.
You know, I'm still telling you how to do it when they do it. Go to the bathtub and in the living room on the rug and tasty love and nice and slow, and I can use a little love. I'm still nasty. Yeah, I still got stuff going on.
Ain't nothing wrong with it. I'm glad. That's the foundation. You cannot, we cannot sway from the foundation of the nastiness.
Mr. Jackson, if you're nasty.
Yes.
Hey, listen.
You cannot sway from the nasty.
And I've been known to be nasty.
Oh, man. I like
you
that.
can't sway from the nasty.
Yeah, but then I also have the message for the children, because somebody's got to save the children because we're ignoring what's going on with our kids. So I wrote a song at 3 o'clock in the morning called Save the Child. And Save the Child, when you see a child crying, don't, just look at them like they're crazy. Maybe stop them and say, are you okay? Who's going to save the child? So I went into a whole nother place, because, I done told you how to get it when you get it, and I done helped you to get it. Now it was time for me to get it and to be able to, but to be able to tell another side of Freddie, because there are different facets and sides of me, because you got to grow with your audience at the same time. And I think this album is a lot of growth, and I'm very proud of it.
But Freddie, you said you made a pot of beans. What kind of beans did you make, Freddie?
Man, I make chili, all kind of beans, whatever. Let me tell you, beans and rice were whole for a week, and I made this. I put my own money in this album.
All right.
I lost 107 pounds, but due to the fact that I was making this record.
All right.
But everything is good. Everything is good. Sometimes you gotta, like I say, put all that other stuff to the side and redo you. You got to sometimes, and some people think that they should just go on, always hammering, and every time they turn around, it's them. Sometimes absence makes the heart grow fonder. And I think a lot of people really need to take about 2 or 3 years off and then reassess, and then you'll be amazed what may happen. Because this One Night song, just 3 weeks ago in Europe, I got a chart, and it's number 1 on the top of the chart. So sometimes you need to take a minute in order for people to say,
yes,
I
indeed.
want you. As opposed to every day you come home to the same old stuff. I don't want to come home to the same old stuff every day. I want to come home to a little bit of tasty love every now and then, a little differently.
You know what? I'm so curious about this One Night. Everybody on this quick fast and the quickie stuff. I'm just so.
We're gonna play. I'm gonna let A-Town get a quick question, and after that, we're gonna debut One Night, and then continue with Freddie. So go ahead, A-Town.
Okay, so I know back in the day when you came out, the quality of your voice, the nature of your songs, everybody started comparing you to Luther. So, and Luther was one of the great songsters of all time. So I wanted to know, did that competition fuel like how you made songs or what you made songs about? Like, did you, when you're in the studio, do you think about like, oh, this is gonna get Luther, and what kind of relationship do you and Luther have? And my big question is, why didn't you two Negroes ever do a duet?
Well, no, Luther said, I'm never going to sing with you. Now, he's going to tell you, he said, I ain't never going to make no record with you. Luther and I were friends. The matter is that
hilarious.
Mariah and Whitney were friends. You see, there's a thing called constructive camaraderie. And when you know why you're being combative like that, actually it's fun. So Luther and I would, like sometimes create some stuff. And he'd be like, did you hear what I said? And I'm like, yeah, I heard what did you hear what I said? And now I don't have nobody to play with it. And I'm mad at him, So I miss him dearly. I miss him dearly because he was a master. He was a consummate master. And there will never, ever be a songwriter or a vocalist like a Luther Vandross who just
not at all
effortlessly. And so everybody takes a little bit of something from everybody. And one day, Luther and I was at a party, Ashford and Simpson party, and we were standing in the middle of their floor. He was singing a little bit of my song, and I was singing a little bit of his. But then I started saying, what's the song? Oh, when I'm meant to be alone, house is my home. He said, okay, that's enough. I had enough of you. Stop singing that. So, listen, when I first met Luther, I was my first Grammy nomination, and I'm in California, and a knock on my door at the what we call the Lava Lodge Hotel, now the Nico. I opened up the door, and it was Luther Vandross standing, and I said, oh, my God. I said, oh, my God, Luther Vandross. So, hotels in California, you can pay somebody to tell them who's in the hotel. So he came upstairs, and he knocked on the door, and I opened up the door, and I almost freaked out, like, oh, my God, this is Luther Vandross. So I said, come in, and he looked at me. He gave me a card, and he looked at. I said, come in. He says, no, I don't want to come in. I just want to see who you were. So,
okay.
The book is going to be something when I do write it. But we used to have fun with it. We had fun with the game. And you got to play the game because we wanted people to think that we was beating each other up, but I loved when Luther had a record coming out, and he loved it because then people went to the store to buy his album and mine. He was selling $1 million, I was selling $1 million. So I talked about him, he talked about me, but we was going to the bank.
There it is.
All that matters.
There it is. No doubt. That's all that matters. D-Verse Radio. If you're just joining us, we are live with the legendary Mr. Freddie Jackson. Right now, we're getting ready to debut his new single right here on D-Verse Radio. Mr. Jackson, if you will, go ahead and introduce your song for everybody.
Hey, this is my brand new single. It's called What Up It, but it's nice knowing that right next door around the corner where you live that you're getting that same love, but a little dab will do you. And, you know, I'm at this point in my life when I really am singing for my fans and the people that's paying that hard-earned dollar. That's still 12,000 people, myself and Ronald Isley, performed before last week in Detroit. And that had nothing to do with a brand new record, because I didn't even sing the new song, because they wanted to hear what they knew. And what they know, and they sing along. I kind of like my shows now because I don't have to sing that hard. The audience is singing it for me.
When you say that you're in a beautiful space, when you say that you're in a beautiful space, I feel it in this conversation. You know, and I could think of so many artists, even Gerald Levert. I mean, Eddie Levert mentioned that even Gerald Levert talks about all these love songs, but he never felt the love. He said he never experienced the love that he sung about in his songs. And I'm seeing, like, looking at all these, you know, past artists that, you know, they had this image and they had this whatever, but you know what I'm saying, but they weren't living that, you know.
Well, I totally understand what you're saying, because, you know, when people will connect you with those every song that they sing, and now you have to remember every actor does not live the role that he plays, you know. And every song you may not have experienced. I recorded a song one time, and after I got finished, I told him, and the producer was really beating me up. I said, but I don't. He tried to get an emotion out of me for a couple of lines, and I kept going. I said, maybe this is not for me, because I've not gone through that. I don't know what that feels like, so I'm not delivering it the way that you may want. The guy that did a demo, he was singing it, and I give props to a great singer, but I wasn't connected because I had never felt that kind of pain and sorrow, and I could not get it, you know. So there are a lot of times, not a lot of times, because in most cases, most of my producers know the voice of Freddie Jackson and know Freddie Jackson and the tenderness of how I project, and so they know how to come with the right, and they'll say that song is for Freddie Jackson, and Freddie will deliver this. And so sometimes you step into the character of the song, because when I sang, I could use a little love right now, and I got to the end, and I'm like, do it in the back, do it in the tub, do it in the living room, I had never experienced any of that, but it made me so hot to believe that I had done it.
You spoke it, you sung it into existence. Made it happen. Made it possible.
I mean, you got to clean the tub, because there's going to be something going on soon.
Yeah, what's his name? Brian McKnight. Brian McKnight went through this. Because Brian McKnight, we're always used to hearing a certain kind of song from Brian McKnight, and it's good to see Freddie Jackson when you said, I'm doing this for my fans, so I'm going to give them things that they can relate to. Brian put out a song a few years ago. I don't know if y'all remember this, called the Pussy song, that How You a Pussy Work. He put out a song.
Yeah, that was a fun song.
We all flip something.
That was a parody.
No, listen, maybe that's how he felt. And so he felt like I was like
I ain't mad at him. I was not mad at him at all. I enjoyed it.
It made him sing a song about it. Lord have mercy. I can't wait for part 2 to come out.
I enjoyed the song. I was putting that on repeat. I said, what he say? Did
you see the video?
He said he waited for part 2.
Yes.
Yeah.
You know the video. Yeah, but it was in all good fun. But Freddie, I got a question. Freddie. Mm-hmm. My thing is, I always like to ask people about preferences. So it's like this: if you could do a duet with anybody in the history of the industry, like past, present, living, dead, who would you do a duet with, and why?
Oh, God. If they just gave me one night with Jill Scott, I'd be happy.
Jill Scott.
I love
that's going to be nice.
I love my about peaches and oranges and pies and taking a long walk in the park after dark and spots to stop conversation, verbal relations, and stimulation. I want to be with somebody like that.
Oh, yeah.
You heard it first.
I like that.
Jill?
Definitely. Freddie, I'm with you. I'm with you. I like that.
To me, Jill Scott is just, she has such a sexy, warm voice, and she just, just take a long walk, and that breathe after dark. Every time she breathes, I'm like, oh, girl, cut it out.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
I just love her.
Wow.
I would be very happy to sing. And I talk about this all the time. And I did an interview with a Philly radio station, and they said, I'm calling Jill right now to let her know that you're free on her. I said, and I'm going to bring her apple pie and stimulation and verbal relations.
There it is. There it is. Yes. Yes. Now, Freddie. Now, Freddie, let me ask you this. For all the new artists, I mean, because you know the way music is today, and it's definitely not like the way it was before. I mean, it's not a. I feel like it's not a lot of meaning into it today like it was before. And that's their thing. That's the new age, and that's their thing. I'm not going to knock it. That's their thing. But for the new generation of singers and all the singers coming up right now that are trying to be successful in the business. I mean, you've been around for 4 decades and you're still doing your thing. So for those artists, if they're asking you, Mr. Jackson, how can I have longevity in this business? What would you tell them?
Write a great song. A great song has a beginning, a middle, and an end. That means 2 verses, a bridge, a chorus, and a tag that's hot. It's got to have something that's memorable. And also, it's not about always the riff. It's about the melody of the song. You see, a lot of people want to sing along with you. And you may be, and I had to learn this because I know when I first came out, I came right out of the church. And every lick I did came with a run. So you got to learn that melody is very important because melody sticks and remains. Some of the greatest love songs have the greatest melodies. For instance, when I fall in love, it will be forever, for I'll never fall in love.
Yeah.
No, that's melody. And that melody you will remember for a long time, and it will give you longevity. But now if you take it and you do all this acrobatic roller coaster stuff around it, and the average voice cannot sing along with it, it's not memorable. So you have to make songs and that are memorable, that will stick. So a great song has a beginning, it tells a story, and then it has a good chorus, which is, you are my lady, that's your hook. That's your chorus. But then it has to have a great second verse that's as strong as the first in order to hold your attention. But the bridge section breaks it up and it gives it different. But the end of it, that's when you ramming it out and you making it believable and it's sticking like glue. So you have to know as a writer how to dissect a song while you're writing it. And that's why Michael Jackson was so incredible. He had a beginning and he had an end.
Indeed.
So
yes,
what
indeed.
you got to learn is that it's just not a beat. So right now, why it's not holding is because kids are really not. They're just doing stuff to a beat, and I say that because I've had people submit songs to me and say, "Yo, Freddie, I got a song for you," and it's just a beat, and I'm like. I asked the writer, I don't mean to be rude, but I'm like, I asked him, I said, so what's the name of it? What's the name of this song? And he said, just create some lyrics to the beat. I said, well, what is the concept? And I said, but you don't have a bridge to this. And I think he thought I was being rude by saying you should take this song and throw it off the bridge. And I was like saying, no, I'm not saying to take that song. I think the song needs a breaking point so it can be a complete song. So first of all, you have to know how to write a song. Like Brian McKnight is a great writer. Babyface is a great writer. The Incompetents
Absolutely.
one a great writer.
Yes, indeed.
You have great writers. You have to know how to write a song. That will give you longevity. And then also what's very important is while you're in this, it's called show business. So know your show and know your business. And sometimes some of us a little longer to know the business. And I can raise my hand and say it took me a little long to really know the difference between right and wrong, because sometimes you're just the artist and you're just in it and not learn, because a lot of people don't want you to learn. But once you do, that's when you become a threat. But don't be afraid to ask questions. Don't be afraid of your own judgment. Don't be afraid to step out on your own faith, because at the end of the day, it really is your life. It really is your career. So don't be afraid to step out on faith. When you step out on faith, nobody can ever take it back.
There it is. There it is.
Yeah.
Well, I think everything that you said is truly the truth, and I think that's important, for these young writers and young music makers to truly understand and not just do what you're saying, but understand what you're saying, as well, because I think that's important, to be able to have longevity in the business, because, like you said, I mean, all these people with these great songs, to this day, we still remember these songs. I mean, to this day, we can still remember Beatles songs or Elvis Presley songs or, Michael Jackson songs, because they were timeless and they captivated people with their writing and their music. So I think truly that's definitely the truth. So I can definitely appreciate that.
Let me tell you, Freddie, your words transcended just beyond music. Your words spoke truth to anybody in any walk of life industry that they're in, including myself.
Well, if you know the power of love, and if you know what it feels like, or if you yearn for it, then if you have the desire for it, then you will feel it's called R&B, it's called soul. And everybody has a soul. Some of our souls are genuine, and some of our souls are not, but it's still a soul. So if it does not touch your soul in any kind of way, then it's not doing it. Let's get real. Michael Jackson wrote a song about a rat, Ben. Ben, the two of us, you live no more. We both found what we were looking for. I heard that song on the radio one time in the car, and I started crying. I said, this song is about a rat.
Most people didn't believe it was about a rat. They're like, that ain't about no rat.
Freddie, I'm with you on that. I'm definitely with you on that.
Well, OJ, I'm with you. The OJs wrote one about it. The OJs wrote one about a dog named Brandy. But you remember the OJs did one about a dog named Brandy, and everybody thought it was a girl.
I really miss you, Brandy. That's right.
Yeah. Hey, well, you know what?
Right.
It might have been some alcoholics out there that might have thought he was talking about the drink brandy. I mean, who knows?
If that's what floats your boat, give me another bottle. You know what I'm saying?
Well,
there are all, there's a great song can derive from any type of emotion and thought, and you just imagine sitting somewhere with your girlfriend and embracing, and you looking at her saying, "We both found what we've been looking for," singing big, either she gonna get up and say, "Are you trying to say I'm a rat?" or what you say? It just.
Oh man! Well, listen.
The point is that if it has a great melody, then it can still work. So your melody has got to be strong enough that you can throw any lyric on it, but it's got to have a melody that will stick. And that's when you're a great writer. If you can sing about a fly, a roach, as long as that song got a melody.
Did you say he said a roach?
He said a roach. He can make a roach sound sexy. Only Freddie can make a roach sexy.
Well, hold up. Let's be for real. If you can write a song about a mouse, you can write a song about a roach. They basically categorize together.
Everybody needs one. Everybody has one.
Well, Freddie, I wanna say now, Freddie, for all the fans that are listening, if they wanna, are you in social media? Would they, would they be able to find you on social media?
FreddieJackson.net and .com and Facebook and Face the Nation and Twitter and all.
She said Face the Nation.
Definitely.
Twitter, tweet everything.
Twitter, yes indeed.
We're President and Freddie Jackson is there. Go to the social. My music is on Music Choice. They're playing it like crazy. I'm very honored that they're playing. I mean, good things are going on, so you can find out what's going on with Freddie. A lot of dates and, this album, I just can't wait for the world to hear it. Love Signals is the name of it again, and I can't wait for people to tap into what's been on my mind for a while.
Well, when is the new album? When is the album going to drop?
Fall. It could be sooner than that. We just got some good news, but I can't let that berry out yet. But God is a good God. And
yes,
somebody,
indeed.
like Pastor Bell would say, somebody still loves me, baby. And I'm very
they do.
I'm very happy.
Yes, indeed.
So it's coming real quick, because I need to hear this. I'm proud of it.
Definitely. Miss Sandy, any closing comments for Mr. Jackson?
No, I'm in awe right now. I'm so you took your hiatus and you've come back, and I'm anxious to hear the whole entire album. And
Absolutely.
I'm just in awe. And I'm glad you're not, not following in the same paths as other artists, where you just get consumed by trying to please everybody else and not living your life to appease them.
I'm just Freddie. I'm born and raised in Harlem. I can look out the window now and still see Harlem. I have to keep it real. I have to rub elbows with the real people. And, I'm blessed to be able to, like I said, dine with kings and queens. But I got to kind of keep some of the real stuff in it, because it keeps my juices flowing. I got a beautiful duet on this album with Joe Albright. He is playing the mess out of this sax on this album. And it's written by Mr. Gordon Chambers, who wrote I Apologize to Miss Anita Baker. And,
okay, yeah.
I got my magic on this album. And when it's magic and you feel it, I had a few albums in between, but this one just has the tinge of for old time's sake. And that's because it's the way I went into this. Like, it's going to be my last time, and I need you to hear this, and I need you to feel my soul and where I am right now. And
there it is.
I just can't wait for people to listen to the melody and the texture of where I took my vocal, because there's different textures of your voice, and it's just not one-dimensional. People sometimes just get into one type of sound, but I'm not saying that I love myself this much that I'm saying I'm wonderful, but okay, I'm wonderful, but
there you go. That's what I was looking for. I was like, I'm about to check you right now. You over here tripping.
You wonderful.
Okay.
But no, my manager, I know he's twitching right now. Saying I told him not to say that stuff, but we in joking, but also in giving thanks, because God didn't make no junk here. So if you don't acknowledge how wonderful He's made you, then He'll take it away from you. I'm grateful every day for what it is that I have that I'm still able to lend, and so I'm just lending this gift that He's given to me, and I want to be able to continue to lend this in the way that I'm lending it, that I'm proud.
No doubt. A-Town, any closing comments for Mr. Jackson?
Glad to see you back. Two, happy as an artist who I really appreciate, man, that you are happy and together, and still moving on, because, you hear so many sad stories in this, man. And one thing that I'm getting from talking and doing these interviews is that you guys, the old heads need to get together, man, and start doing the old Motown thing where you do artist development and really teach these folks how to walk and act and talk, and get around and survive in this business. So, we have less tragedies and crazy stories and, more of the old times.
And more success, right.
I agree with you 100% because some of these guys, you're like, you don't even know how to answer the question,
Right.
What are you wearing? What are you doing? But you got to remember, guys, everything has changed. Years ago, there was a thing in record labels called artist development. There are no artist developments anymore. It's called, here's a white beat and go on out there and sing that song.
He said his wife
be like, yo.
Beater, take his wife beater on. He said wife beater. He said wife beater.
Yeah. Well, Mr. Jackson, I want to.
We're gonna get you a whole case of white beaters. Now go out there and be a star. But,
hold up. But some of these jokers are kind of scrawny, so they ain't white beaters. They child abusers.
Hey, listen. Let me tell you something. It's the thing, and then what's happening now is that a lot of people don't want to listen because they come into the saying, "Well, who are you to tell me?" Blah blah blah. I know I got it, and so you got to come in this wanting to listen, and you better listen because there's a lot of folks that got to go back to working at McDonald's because they didn't listen. So listen. When I first started, Gladys Knight gave me some food for thought, and it was a lot of people that said, you talk to me in 10 years, and then you tell me that you're tired. Gladys Knight told me, she asked me, she said, how you like this? I said, I'm tired. She said, talk to me in about 10, you tell me what tired is. And then I saw her a little later. She said, you tired yet? I said, oh, I got it. I got it. So, experience is the best teacher. And yes, I do believe that a lot of kids would even be better if they listen, but you got to remember, labels are not the labels that they used to be. And so the artist development thing, and they're not. Whitney Houston was developed into being the girl that she was. Artists were developed into being who they were. And so, and you're like, well, we need you to do that or cut that. But then when you come with a little bit of you and who you are, they can't ever
that's important. That's really important. You got to blend who you really are into yourself, to that music.
That's right. You got to be you. You got to be you. And that's why I'm still here. I got to be me, and I'm still me, and I'm still doing what I got to do.
Well, Mr. Jackson, I want to say, again, and it's more of an honor now that we had an opportunity to speak with you. And, I love it when we have conversations like this with incredible artists like yourself to get an in-depth view of who you really are and your mindset and your thoughts on life and this business. So truly an honor, again, to speak with you and have you on the show. And, we like to say that, you come on as a guest and you leave as a family member. So, you're family with us now, and that's exactly how we're going to treat you and support you and everything that you're doing. Because, we love your music and everything that you do.
Yeah, I appreciate it, and I'm very grateful. I'm still grateful when people give me the love back in return. So
Absolutely.
I'm grateful. It's been a pleasure speaking with all of your listeners, and I hope that I said something in between my craziness that made some sense.
We love it. We loved it.
Laughter keeps to the soul.
Every moment,
a lot of artists get so serious in it, they forget to smile and to laugh, and I don't want to go out like that. I want to come in. I want to go out the way I came in, and I came in with my heart, my soul feeling good. And so therefore, I think that's important. And I'm sure you have listeners who can accept that. So I thank you
Yes,
guys,
indeed.
and I thank
Yes,
you
indeed.
for taking the time to listen to me talk about all this stuff.
Absolutely. Well, we thank you, and we're going to be looking out for the new album, and we're going to keep on rocking One Night for everybody. So this is not the first time they're going to hear it.
Thank you.
We're
I
going
need my
to keep on
number
playing it.
one record. Rock
Yes.
that thing. Spin that
We're
thing.
gonna keep playing it for you. We're definitely gonna keep playing it for you. And I want to thank you again for joining us. And sir, you truly are blessed, and you have a blessed night tonight.
God bless y'all.
Oh, God bless you too.
Be blessed. Thank you.
Take
Beautiful.
care.
You too.
Stay out that tub.
That's good. You know, it's real good that he's bounced back like this.
Yeah, I like that.
And
DL Radio
yeah.
Network, Diverse Radio. That was the legendary Mr. Freddie Jackson hanging out with us and joining us on the show tonight. Always a